In 1995, Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan proposed a call to action for Black men. This is historically referenced as the Million Man March. Farrakhan was assisted in organizing this event by Benjamin F. Chavis Jr., who is the former executive director of the NAACP, known as the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. The call to action requested that the participants pay their own way to the Mall of Washington and allow their physical presence to illustrate a commitment to change in the Black community. Since their arrival in the country, Black Americans have faced unfair treatment, often based on nothing other than the color of their skin. In the 1990s, the unemployment rate for Black Americans was nearly double that of whites. Additionally, the Black community was plagued by high rates of drug use, along with the high rates of imprisonment that can be seen today. According to Minister Farrakhan, Black men needed to seek forgiveness for allowing extraneous factors to come between them and their position as leaders of the Black community and providers for their families. As a result, the theme for the Million Man March was atonement. Though this word was multiple definitions, two of them in particularly illustrated the aim of the march. The first was reparation for an offense of injury, because in his eyes, Black men had forsaken their community. The second was the reconciliation of God and humankind. He believed that Black men had been ignoring the roles bestowed upon them by God and needed to restore that relationship. On October 16, 1995, that dream became a reality, and hundreds of thousands of Black men showed up to the Mall of Washington. Black community leaders were so touched by the image of Black men making a commitment to their families that it was referred to as a glimpse of heaven. Farrakhan explicitly stated that there would be no violence or alcohol present, and according to the records, there was zero arrests or fights that day. The event is reported to have lasted 10 hours, and for each of those hours, Black men stood listening, weeping, laughing, and simply being. Although Farrakhan is a controversial figure to many Black and white Americans alike, most agree that this display of commitment to community change was a positive action. Those who did not support the march often did so based on accusations of a separatist agenda. While there were white people and women in attendance, the call to action was specifically targeted at Black men, and some men felt this was both sexist and racist. In addition to perspectives that saw the movement as separatist, many did not support the movement because they felt that while Black men striving to do better was a good idea, there were many factors that were out of their control, and no amount of effort would overcome. The oppression that Black Americans have experienced in the United States is not the fault of the Black man. Farrakhan's message lightly revisited the bootstrap myth, a common American perspective that believes we are all capable of rising to higher financial classes with hard work and dedication. However, this myth has been dispelled time and time again. Nevertheless, estimates of how many Black men were actually in attendance that day range from 400,000 to 1.1 million. This is due to the difficulty of counting how many people are present in a wide area. What we can learn from this event is that don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Oftentimes, many of us are always guilty of complaining about the things that we don't like, but rarely do we take action or partake in something that will force the change. We must always remember to be the change that we wish to see. Another reason this event is important to U.S. history is because this acknowledged the importance of Black culture and the importance of Black men being part of the mainstream U.S. society. Some of my thoughts and views on this subject is that it was great to see how African American men were able to stand together for a common goal. And it was also great to read about how nothing bad was really going on during the Million Man March, but they were able to come together as a group of people and stand up for what they believe in and use their voice.